Okay, everybody, our next break is our special guest break with 10 2024's top Star Wars boxes. We have 4 tops high tech, 6 tops Star Wars hyperspace, and bringing them in at this time, our special guest tonight, IAN MCKESSON.
What up? What's up, Steve? Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. I'm excited to do this. It's really fun.
Yeah, me too.
The artwork,
So fun.
I know we connected whenever I pulled one of your sketches, and as I pulled
That's
it, we
right.
were talking about it. I was like, this looks so good that it almost looks like a picture. Like, it was such a good
so
sketch. It was
Thanks, man.
It was awesome.
It is fun for sure. So, and I feel like I've worked with Tops on sketch cards since 2022. Actually, Galaxy 2022 was the first set I ever worked on, and definitely I feel like I've gotten a little bit better as I've probably done like 500 to 700 sketch cards now in the last 2.5, 3 years.
So that was going to be my first question, was when did you start? Now, my second one
Yep.
here, what do you have a favorite character to draw?
Yeah, Vader. I mean, if I was smart, I would just do 50 Vaders every time a set. Because it's really sort of up to us. You know, they don't give us a specific list per se, but it's too much fun to draw all the different characters. And I like to try to draw some scenes and watercolor some scenes. So, but Vader and Yoda are my 2 favorite individual characters to draw for sure. Right now, because of Andor, we can't do anything. Even the newest sets we're working on, we can't do like season 2 of Andor yet, but we can do Rogue One and season 1 of Andor. So this most recent set I'm working on right now, I'm doing a bunch of, Andor and Rogue One character just because how good Andor was.
Yeah, that's really cool. I did not watch Andor yet. My wife,
dude,
who is a huge Star Wars fan, so like we watch those. She watched The Mandalorian without me because I was like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get into it. And then like I was like, I probably should have because everyone says how great it was.
It's good. Mandalorian's great. It's a fun little like adventure show, but Andor is just a shockingly good TV show. I think the Gilroys are, Michael Clayton is an amazing movie. I think from '99, I think it was, maybe 2006. But they did the Bourne Identity, a couple of the Bourne movies. They're just like really good at doing like heist movies.
Oh, okay.
And so they did this show in a way that I'm not 100% sure because it'd be hard to imagine not being a Star Wars fan for me, but I don't think you need to be to watch Andor and like fully immerse in the show because there's no like space wizards or lightsabers or like force using. It's kind of all the regular people that got so disenfranchised that essentially help the space wizards, defeat other, bad space wizards. So, but obviously the whole story is about a rebellion and how it took place and how they got so disenfranchised to do it. And this Andor tells that story so perfectly, I think.
Yeah, I'll probably have to check it out. I know my wife's watching tonight, so
it's worth it, dude. It's totally worth it. The second season, the middle of the second season is like some of the best television I've ever watched.
I'll have to check it out then.
Got to.
I have a big list here with all the names. Those of you that purchased, hopefully you remember who you have. If you don't, you can ask me, and I'll try to find it here quick. But what we did hit in the first box is Vice Admiral Holdo, numbered 3 of 10. Green parallel there. Cool. That's a really nice card.
Cool one, yeah. I love these cards.
Oh, yeah, me too. Sam Wessel, 25 of 25. That's an orange parallel.
Thanks.
And Anakin, 37 of 50. And Anakin's right at the top, so I can tell you there, Leighton Lee got Anakin.
Congrats, dude.
That's a nice hit.
Yeah, Anakin's so dope. Hayden, I love everything about how Hayden's like fully back into it and showing up at screenings and stuff. I love it.
Yeah, he was just here recently at the Pittsburgh City Con.
That's right. Yeah, and he's signing a bunch of stuff. He's signed a couple different cards that I've done. A wood burning that I did that someone got from me, sent it in and got signed by Hayden Christensen, and a sketch card I did as well. It's pretty cool to see.
Oh, yeah, that's neat.
Totally.
Have you ever received feedback from any of the people that you sketch?
No, not from the actual person ever. Certainly got plenty of feedback from other people. Wanted or not. I got a pretty funny story about that one, actually. So when I first Yeah, it was the first set of Masterwork that I worked on. So I guess it was Masterwork 23, even though it came out like way late into 24.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a group text, a bunch of us artists, I'd say about 40 of us, and someone's like, hey, this person's breaking on YouTube Masterworks already, and it was kind of like night of the release or something. So I jump into the YouTube channel, I turn it on, and literally the very first box, I see the guy like going through a pack, and it's my autograph. It's the back of the card, and it's my autograph. And I'm like, oh my god, dude, that's my card. And so I'm in the chat like, dude, that's mine. And yeah, and the people in the chat are like, oh, no way. But the guy that was breaking, I forget the name of the breaker, but he had no idea. And so he's like, so he gets to the sketch card and he turns it over and he's like, yeah, pretty good. I bet he could do that like on the toilet, depending on what he had for dinner the night before. And I'm like, I'm in the chat when he's saying this, and like all the people in the chat are like lighting him up. They're like, dude, he's in here. The artist is in here. And so and they're all, no, it's good, dude, it's good. Don't worry, it's good. And then like finally a few minutes later he realizes it, and like he's like, oh no, man, it's good. I was just like kind of joking about the other sketches that we've seen and stuff. And so anyway, it got listed up to eBay. So whoever had got it, and I bought it immediately because I was like, dude, this is my toilet sketch. Like this one I have to have because of the whole response to the whole thing. And you know, when I was younger, dude, I would have really like kind of bummed me out or offended me or maybe made me like want to stop contributing. But as I get older now and I just want to contribute to stuff, it's a very different response from me now.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome though.
It's a pretty good one. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was like pretty funny too. Like it wasn't like genuinely mean.
Let's see here. We have Jacob. He's the one that I pulled your sketch for the last time we pulled it. Whenever
right.
You and I talked. Said he loves it. And Tim
Awesome.
said he has your Han in Carbonite with Lando sketch from Master.
Oh, dope. Oh, rad. That one actually I did a practice of, and I liked it enough that I was like, when I got the next set to work on, I was like, I'm doing this again because somebody asked me to make one as a commission. Actually, I made one as a Zion case, and I was so hyped on the Zion, like how it works, so that when the next set came out, I did that card. That's rad. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
Yeah, guys. Any questions? Feel free to throw those in the chat.
Yeah.
We're here.
I get a lot of people obviously ask like how you get into it, if they want to get into it, or they have friends that are artists. So any of those questions I'd love to pass on. It's a pretty cool gig, and it's a cool community for the most part. Just like any community, there's some disgruntledness, but most everybody's pretty cool and not competing with each other, and genuinely has the idea that, like, you know, raising higher tide raises all ships, and it's good for us that anything is selling for a lot, and that, you know, that kind of thing. But there are some disgruntledness in there sometimes.
Yeah. I think that fits in everywhere, like you said.
I was just gonna say the same. Yeah.
Luke Skywalker, number to 25 here. Another Anakin gold out of 50. That's back-to-back boxes with the Anakin. And
Anakin's
Admiral Akbar, 1 of 1.
It's a trap.
That one's going to Eric with the 101 Admiral Akbar. That's a really nice hit.
It's a trap.
And
so I do a Star Wars show every once in a while. When like a new set releases, I'll do a break just to like open it, see if I can pull one of my own cards. And so I was working on my Akbar, one of these shows. I was like, it's a trap. And my wife comes running in from the other room. She's like, did you hear that sound? Are the cats okay? And I was like, what sound? She's like, I don't know. It sounded like a guttural, like, I don't know, like a cat like puked or something. And I was like, wait. Did it sound like it's a trap? And she was like, that's what it was. That was you. And so now I do it every show. And every time I do it, my wife's not home right now, but if across the house, she'll just yell at me to stop it. Shut up. No more Akbar.
All right. I did not share these with Ian yet, but he knows the answers.
Pretty good,
because he sent me the prizes. So we'll see if he knows which ones to match them up to. All right. Our first giveaway. First person to type this in the chat is going to win the card, and then I'll show it. This character won the Dark Saber through combat by beating Gar Saxon.
Yeah, I
see if anybody can get that one.
I think I know this one. Yeah, I think
See if we get any responses there. It is. Mike hit that one with Sabine Wren.
Yo, nice. Yeah, I would have got it. Yes.
There it is. And Ian signs them with the 101 and the stamp.
Yeah, so if you've never seen these before, I take regular base cards and I just graffiti them up. I turn them up into like one-of-a-kind custom pieces of art. And it's completely taken off for me. It's kind of a trip how much it's taken off. But I love making them, and it takes regular, like, we all get a lot of base cards. So it's found a way to kind of recycle those into pieces that you would put back out on yourself rather than just in the shoebox. And, for me, it's just a way to make them look interesting. And it's kind of a fun way to know that you have the only one in the world that looks like that, essentially. So I hope you like it. I hope we get one of mine out of hyperspace. I think I did 60 for hyperspace. And I've seen a few of them, but definitely not all of them.
All right, we're going to get BB8, number 22 of 25.
Nice one. He's a fun character to draw for sure.
Mike said he loves that. He's never had a sketch before. And it doesn't look like toilet art. So there you go.
Dude, moving up. I'm, moving away from the toilet.
Salacious Crumb, number 19 of 25.
Nice. Salacious is actually genuinely, when I first got the gig actually for Star Wars, like those are the kind of characters that I wanted to draw, the kind of more obscure, total like Muppet looking characters, like Sebulba too.
Yep, out of 50 there.
They're totally fun to draw. Like they're just like obviously kind of drawn funky characters to begin with.
All right, last box of high tech here. We'll jump into this hyperspace. We've pulled a lot of sketch cards out of hyperspace, so hopefully that keeps going and we can find
way more for hyperspace than there was for high tech. They actually pulled some from the Star Wars Chrome to put into high tech just to add a little something extra to high tech. So we didn't have a specific for high tech sketch card project like we did for hyperspace, Masterwork, Star Wars Chrome, Galaxy.
Here we have R2D2, number 9 of 10. The green parallel. Nice. If you've bought from me, Mike, and you're under Mike Leonard, I'll just find it for you and send it out. If you haven't, send it to my email address, and I'll put that in the chat right now. All right, we have Baze Malbus, 5 of 25.
Have you seen Rogue One, Steve? Are you a Rogue One guy or no?
I have. I like that movie. I thought it was pretty good.
Me too. It's my second favorite of all the Star Wars movies.
I know it's not liked a lot by many, but I thought the Solo movie was really good as well.
A lot of people do, and I didn't like it when it first came out. Just like it was all right, but it just wasn't up there for me. But I rewatched it kind of recently, and I liked it a lot more than I did the first time.
Yeah, I think it's hard for anybody to live up to Harrison Ford as well.
Oh, 100%. And trying to do a gimmicky Harrison Ford feels over the top.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know how you could have done it better, really.
All right, let's go to our second trivia question. This character's father created the Death Star. That one's a little bit easier, I think.
Yeah. All right, I got that one. Speaking of Rogue One.
Let's see if we have an answer here. There is a little bit of a delay whenever I ask the question. It takes.
Oh, I have it on my TV over here too, and it's like a minute later.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I thought someone would answer that really quick, and then I thought to myself, yeah, it plays on that long delay, and Tim hits that one fast.
Boom.
We've got Tim getting this one. And guys, you can win more than one. So don't be hesitant. We have a Jin Erso.
Urso.
Another
I did a show with Mama Breaks when I first was getting into Star Wars, and she asked me who's like my favorite female character, and Jin for me. But again, I'm such a Rogue One like enthusiast, even before Andor, and now after Andor, like even more so. But I just like everything about how that movie, what it's kind of telling, anything about the whole Andor, just like the beginning of the rebellion is so dope for me. Yeah, hope you like it.
I'll definitely have to check it out.
I like writing Jin too. Like the letters for Jin are pretty good from old graffiti days.
All right, we'll get that for you, Sean, in just a bit. Now we're on to the hyperspace, and hopefully here we can land some sketch cards in this one.
Yeah, man. If we pull one of mine, it would be all time. Keep waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, number 7 of 25, a Republic attack gunship. And
nice.
Tim says
I like
he has
how
another
low numbered
custom
some of that stuff is in high tech and here too. Like getting stuff under 25 is pretty dope.
Yeah, Tim says he has another custom of Jin from you as well.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, Tim. Hope you like it. I feel like I'm using the airbrush a bit more now too, and the lettering is getting better. So it's funny to look back on some of the first stuff I was doing like this. Even it was only like 2 years ago, but it was like I wasn't really doing as much graffiti. I was just doing kind of like change the card up with some different line work and stuff. Now it's a little bit more got a different style.
All right, number 55 of 99, a Trade Federation battleship. And there are droids, tech, and species spot that if they're not with any of the other characters up there, which again, if you bought them, hopefully you remember who. If not, I can tell you. But there is a droid spot without autographs. Jacob has that. He may have hit both those two. I'll have to look over it whenever I do the sorting for this.
Oh man, thank you. I can kind of read the chat if I zoom it in a little bit, Tim. Yeah, thank you, dude. Appreciate it, man. Like I said, for me, it's just really fun. It started when I found a bunch of my old like 90s baseball cards and was like Bo Jackson rookies, King Griffey Jr., people that are dope that I really like, but like, not the value that we thought saving them at grandma's house was going to be. So I was like, what can I do to still like we own a hair salon barbershop in San Diego. And so I was like, I throw a bunch of stuff all over the wall. So I was like, how can I make these, like, put these back up on the wall? So I started doing stuff on them. And then people were like, how do I get one of them? So that's kind of how it took off.
Yeah, that's an awesome story. Like I said, I really liked so many of the sketches. Like, I don't know any of the other sketch artists. Like, you're the only one I've actually talked to. But so many of you guys for the Star Wars are so good at that. Like, it's for somebody like me that can't do art at all. It's amazing to see the work that you guys do.
Thanks, dude. I mean, look, and like for me, even when I first got the gig, it's because I saw all the Project 2020 stuff. It was just after COVID. I got featured in Thrasher magazine. I used to do a bunch of art in like skateboarding. And so I got a little less fearful and was more willing to like put my art out there. So I sent a bunch of stuff in the Tops, like, hey, I see you're doing these art collabs. I'd love to contribute. And they were like, dude, that Vader is so dope. Sorry, I got distracted on this. So I just was excited to try to contribute. They're like, yeah, we really like it. Would you want to work on Star Wars sketch cards? And I was like, yes, 100%. But I didn't even know what that meant, literally. I thought I was going to be able to draw something like, 5x7 or 8x10, and they would shrink it and make it into a card. And they're like, no, we send you blank cards and you draw right on them. And I was like, oh, okay. So I started like, tracing some cards and started practicing watercoloring and drawing the size of cards. And like, that's the thing for me when I look at like Angel Avilas's work, and there's so many amazing artists, to try to name them all would be impossible. But to see like how realistic and perfect and cool to some degree some people can get on these little cards is really cool and inspiring for sure.
That's like the panel ones to me are really nice too, because I mean Do they send those to you? Like, do you put the folds in them? Are they already folded and you have?
Oh no, yeah, they definitely. Again, I just did museum collection even for baseball, and like they sent me quite a few of these like little panel booklets. And for us masterwork, I got a few of those triple panels, triptychs. So you never know. At least I never know exactly what they're going to send me and how many of them. But they're way better to work on, especially for Star Wars, because it's like a wide vision kind of, like it's just so much more space to work on, right? So, and you can recreate scenes horizontally way better. There was a minute where they were asking us not even to do any sketch cards horizontal, and then they eased back on that, and so we're allowed to make horizontal cards again, which obviously when you're looking at certain scenes, it's a lot easier to make them that way, just because of the kind of format of the scenes from movies, a little more widescreen. But the panels and the triptychs are like the easiest way to have more space to work on.
Yeah, I always like those.
Me too.
Can't remember what it was. I'm not going to remember who drew it, but I know a couple years ago I pulled, I think it was a 2-panel, and it was Leia and Luke. It was so nice, like just to see.
Oh yeah,
like whenever you open it up, like the big characters like that.
100%. Yeah, and some of the scenes, like the Yoda and Dagobah scenes and stuff, like incredible. The name of our shop is Mary Jane North. We used to have 2 salons in San Diego, and we're in very North San Diego, Fallbrook. It's almost like Oceanside. I just saw that question, so I was answering.
Yep.
It's a pretty nice weekend. It's kind of mellow here. It's like weirdly humid in San Diego. My son and I just golfed this afternoon, and it was like 68, but weirdly like Florida 68, which is not my favorite 68.
I don't know what the temperature is today, but it's so humid here in Pennsylvania.
Dude, I don't know. I've actually never been to Pennsylvania, but I've been to Florida enough times to know that it's hard for me, being from California.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it, man. It's such a weird difference too, because it's not even. Seasons. I mean, I get that too. San Diego's kind of summer all the time, which is a pretty good season. Pretty good season.
Yeah.
But it's the humidity for me that's just different than heat.
That one's pretty neat. The
That's
lava
a cool
fleet.
one. Yeah, I've never seen that
50.
before. What's that one? Oh, dope.
Mustafar lava fleet. We also had the Northern Mustafarian, number to 50. There's a lot of Mustafar there. Wookiee long gun, number to 199, and multi-troop transport, number to 199. All right, let's do our next trivia question.
Yeah.
This character survived the attack on the Jedi Temple and made his first appearance in The Mandalorian. I shared my wife the trivia questions, so that's her, Amanda R. She said she can't wait to see the next one. Character survived the attack of the Jedi Temple and made his first appearance in the show The Mandalorian.
First appearance? Oh, no. No, not him. Let's see who gets this. I don't think so.
It is not Finn.
No, I don't think so either. He was in... What?
He was a stormtrooper in one of the new...
Yeah, not... What was the name of the first one in this recent series? Force Awakens. That's...
Mike got that one as well. It is Grogu.
Yeah, okay, Grogu. He survived. Yeah, he did. Yep, okay. Yep. All right, I'm back with you.
And Mike, you're going to be winning the Grogu art. Justin, Bill Burr's character.
Grogu's another one. Like Double G is a fun, just like fun to write.
So we got Mike with a second hit here in the trivia game.
Yeah, Mike.
With the Grogu.
Hope you like it.
All right, let's move on to our next box. And we have 4 more to go. And we have 4 more boxes. So we'll do one after each box.
No sketch card yet, huh?
The rest of it. No, we haven't.
It's cool, too, for me, because I've been working with them now and on some different sets for so long that, like, quite a few of the other artists are friends of mine. And obviously all of us get stoked, like, excited when any of ours come out. So it's kind of fun for me, even if it's not mine, to relay it on to whoever the artist is, and a lot of times I know like where they're from and a little bit about them too. So, I mean, they're all over the world. There's people from Turkey, Portugal, Japan.
Yeah,
a lot of UK artists.
I pulled one and I went to look the guy up, and he had like no social media presence, and he was from I think it was a South American country, and I was like, I don't know how to get a hold of that guy.
Do you remember the name?
I do not, but I was like, I don't know how to get a hold of him. He had a private Facebook, and I was like, I don't want to mess with that.
Yeah.
Hoth Rebel Trooper.
Yeah, same.
13 of 25.
Dude, Hoth is so dope. We're not allowed to give away too many of the secrets, but they're doing this again. And there's some new planets that they were working towards, which is always fun.
Yeah. Elasmec, number to 199.
Elasmec, wow.
Mike is pumped. He's
nice.
now won Sabine Wren and Grogu.
That's right. That's a pretty good combo.
Yeah. We hit our first autograph here. It is Cyril Karn, 66.
See, all like of any 99. Of these guys now, Cyril is a banger now to me. It was so good in Andor.
That is Kyle.
Like the way that character plays out is completely changed for me from being kind of like a random pull autograph to like, yep, I would want that now for sure.
I think I'll double check this before we go. Before I put them all out there, but I think he's part of the characters that had autographs, but no base cards. If that's so, he would go to Eric. It's kind of different because that's why I put the two products together, because some of them overlap. Like Luke has autographs in one, but not the other. Harrison Ford has autographs in the other one, but not the one that Luke does. So it's like trying to put all the top people in there. We have multi-troop transport again, number to 199.
I can show you guys a couple of the sketch cards that I've done right here. I'll turn my camera around so you don't have to see me so much. This is talking about like those booklets you were talking about. This is a booklet I did for Masterworks. So it's I felt it's a pretty dope case to be able to like put those in.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome to see.
Thanks,
that.
man.
Like,
it's a fun one. Like
there, that is incredible. And then, yeah, really like those.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's super fun to do. This is from the Galaxy last year, I think. So when I got the gig to do Star Wars, my wife was like, "Oh, you got to do Ewoks." I was like, "I mean, yeah." The first thing you think of is Ewoks when you think of Star Wars, and she's like, "I mean, they're so cute." I was like, "Yeah, okay." So every set that I've done that's like kind of universal enough to do whatever we want, I always have to do a couple Ewoks, basically.
Mm-hmm.
These ones were from Finest. These were like some die cuts.
Yeah, those look so good. Like they just looks like they made those computer.
Thanks, dude. I went with the concept here. Obviously, I had a couple other. I had like a Luke with green and Yoda with green behind it, but I kind of went with like black and white versions of the characters, but then the color behind them that would kind of allude to which direction they were facing, living.
Yeah, I really like all those. Like those are awesome. And then you showed me a couple of the baseball ones there. Those are really
these were they just let me into baseball. So this was Series 1 that just came out. Series 2 comes out like next week, I think, June 11th. And I did 35 for that one too. I did this one the night that Freddie hit it. And funny story, I started drawing Giancarlo Stanton because it was he had hit a 2-run home run early in the game. And I'm like working on a Giancarlo, but I was just pencil and I wasn't, hadn't gotten too far in it. And then obviously that game completely changed and it became a Freddie card. So Freddie's drawn on top of Giancarlo Stanton on that one.
All right, this next one, another trivia question here, guys. My wife said this was a hard question. This character piloted the TIE Advanced X-1 Starfighter.
Well, yeah, that's a tough one. But I think I know. Not a human, right? Can we give away hints? Is it? I could be wrong there, too, to be honest.
I don't know how to answer that.
All right, this will be exciting to find out then.
It was a special starfighter that had features that only his had.
For the Rebellion too, yeah, not a TIE fighter, right?
Nathan hit that. It was Darth Vader.
It was Vader?
Yep. And Nathan?
Yeah. I heard Starfighter, and I should have. That is. Those ones, see, those are horizontal. The horizontal ones are great because it's just more room to kind of dial in. But I was from that Obi-Wan Kenobi set, which I also did some sketch cards from.
So we have Nathan hitting the Darth Vader.
Nice. Dude, hope you like it.
I wrote Nathan Vader. All right, we got that one done. That's my problem whenever I try to talk and do something at the same time. It gives me issues. Congrats, Nathan. So we've got Mike with Sabine Wren and Grogu. I think Grogu might be my wife's favorite. And then we have Tim with Jyn Erso. And we have Nathan with the Darth Vader.
Vader, nice. This is box 3 or box 4?
This is box 4 of the hyperspace.
Yeah, nice. Come on, sketch card. They used to let us keep, like, how it would work for us is like, and it still works this way with like sports stuff. We used to get artist proof. So like if I would do 50 cards for Topps, then they would give me 5 to keep. They'd send me 5 extra that I could draw on, get approved by Lucasfilm, and then keep them. All the art we do has to be approved by someone at Lucasfilm before Topps can put them in the box. Kind of random note here though. Princess Leia cards with Carrie Fisher are the only, like, her estate also has a second right of refusal, meaning that if it gets past Lucasfilm, okay, they think that's a good enough Carrie Fisher. Her estate can also veto it if they want. It's the only individual that has like a second layer of rejection, essentially.
So with that, do you guys in the sketch community, do you kind of stay away from that, or do you take it as like a sense of pride?
100%.
No.
Yeah, it's like not entirely. I do quite a few Leias, and because thankfully most of mine have passed, and obviously like amazing character to draw. Like one of the very first rules is no slave Leia, though. That's like literally like the very first, like no blood, no slave Leia, no like guns pointing right back at the camera. There's some other little bit more obscure rules, but like they're quick to tell you don't even try to draw a slave Leia. But they used to let us keep 10%, but then some things happened or changed, and now we get paid more per sketch, but we don't get to keep any anymore. So that's why these ones I have here still now are from sets from at least a year ago, but they're the last ones I kind of held on to because I'm starting to go to more shows now, and I want to tangibly have some cards to show and share rather than just check out my Instagram or here's some pictures. So it's hard for me to sell these ones, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that. That'd be tough to see the artwork
I used to
go.
Because I knew if another set was coming out, and I knew I was going to get some more back, because we'd send them all in and they would send them back to us when the set released. But again, now at least for the time being, only sports stuff do we get to keep artist proofs.
Yeah, I see sometimes in like random Facebook groups, people have like the extra blank cards that they'll.
Yeah, they used to have that, and that was kind of one of the reasons that things got messy, apparently, is because some people were doing like unsanctioned or approved sketch cards. Like they're doing slave Leias on the official cards. And that kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a great AT-AT card. AT-AT, right? Yeah, you don't say AT-AT, right? It's an AT-AT.
AT-AT.
I think it's AT-AT.
Yeah, it's definitely AT-AT. All right, we have our next one here. I think this one's kind of easier, but I should have made them tougher as I went, but I kind of ranked them in the characters. So, I think as soon as I say this, I'm going to skip on the name, and I'll come back to the name of the actor if we need it. Okay. The actor was the only actor to receive an Oscar nomination from a Star Wars film. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for for his portrayal of this character?
Oh man,
There's only one actor
that's a
that
great
got an
question.
Oscar nomination. He was a supporting actor. Who did he play? And if you need to know the actor's name, I do have that for the first hint. We'll see if anybody gets it with the information we have.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible. That's a great question. I don't know the answer.
The I'm gonna have to look more in depth, but it looks like I put that one into the
I would have
droids.
guessed Harrison Ford too. For me, that's who I would have guessed. But maybe Alec Guinness.
Who was the first one there to hit it? It was Mike Leonard, and it was Alec Guinness.
It was Alec Guinness. Nice. Yes, I would have got that too.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is the character. Mike hit that.
Yeah, nice.
That's the I love third hit for Mike.
Mike, dude's got a collection now. Nice. Hope you like him, Mike. We could just round out the whole cast.
All right, and then those were the card art. You called them graffiti art.
Yep. Yeah, card cards, because I take regular. They aren't part of any particular set. They're just custom cards that I take and, alter them.
All right, and then I saved the last two for the last two questions.
Nice. Yeah, these ones are a little bit. These ones definitely take a little bit more time and are more unique, I think.
All right, so Mike doesn't get that one. We have to give it to his wife. His wife answered it.
Yes, nice. I mean, whose wife doesn't like Ewan McGregor?
Now I did watch that show. The Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, I liked it, dude. I mean, there was some people that it was divisive in the community apparently, but I really liked Obi-Wan Kenobi a lot. I thought the show was great.
Yeah, I thought the show was great. For me, because I'm not like the huge into it. Like, I like the movies. I've watched them each once. I've watched a couple of them twice.
Oh wow.
My wife loves them, and there is a Leia numbered 199, and nice. We started to watch the Clone Wars and stuff. But then watching that movie, the only issue I had was it felt like they was putting stuff in that didn't really happen in the timeline of the movies. Like,
yeah, see,
because they would have talked about it in the movies.
That's what's hard for me because I'm saying, I've seen them all hundreds of times. I don't think there's any movie I've seen more than Empire or A New Hope, honestly, in my whole life, of any of them. But maybe The Big Lebowski, but that's probably it. But I do think, the Star Wars, like fans of Star Wars can sometimes kind of get in their own way a little bit of like adopting this thing that they love so much to where like they can't see and that the way if they've really digested the books and all this other stuff, then it would be hard for someone new to come in and create something that wouldn't affect the timeline, I think. And I don't I don't know it enough, the timeline enough to know if something's retconning something else or changing but if it's really obvious, then I can be a little bit like The Last Jedi did some hard to somehow Palpatine is back, that's a bit tough. But I don't know. For me, if it's enjoyable to watch and like still like adding some extra stuff. It was cool to see Vader be like a badass Darth Vader, I thought, in the show.
Yep. Here we have Tauntauns, number 99.
Tauntaun's another one that's super fun to draw.
And we had Nate Gunray, number 75.
I'm here for this whole new like revival of the Phantom Menace too, like people like forgetting that we didn't like it when it came out. Like everybody's into it again, which I'm here for. I like it.
Yeah, we tried to watch through the Clone Wars, but there's so many of them, and like
yeah, that's a beast for sure.
And it jumps so like it's just so random how all the episodes go back and forth.
Yeah,
and I was like, I can't follow this.
I ended up really liking Rebels, and I like Clone Wars, but I wouldn't say like I've watched them all in detail. Kind of had it on when I've been doing art or something. But yeah, it's that's a lot to take in and a lot going on, which is cool because it really does tell a lot more of the story in a cool way. But Yeah, I don't think you need it to like all the movies independently or vice versa.
All right, we have a question here, and these are the original artworks. These last two, and trust me, you're gonna want to win these. These are awesome. So, in
Thanks.
1997, an updated version of a scene from the movie changed to show that this character fired the first shot. He
Oh,
didn't
come
fire the
on.
first shot
Let's
in the
go.
original.
Come on. We all know it.
We've got a winner. It's gonna be Tim, and it's a wood burning
Tim.
original artwork. And these are just something else with the wood burning.
Thanks, dude. I'll show you. I got a couple right here, too. So kind of, yeah, we all know it. See? You know. Han shot him sneaky from under the table. So, yeah, these I take regular pieces of wood, and I draw the scene on there or character or whatever, the Yoda on this one. And I wood burn them right in there. So, for example, like here's a Cal Ripken that I started. So I'm going to just kind of do it while we go through this next little break so you can kind of see how it comes to life.
Now
So it's
I'm
almost like a
focused on the
tattoo.
cards.
It's like a tattoo machine. It's like these little super hot pens right here. I've had to file because again, these cards are the size of cards. They fit in a 130 point like case top loader. And so I had to like file down these little tips, but you can kind of see they have a digital temperature gauge that goes up to like 700 degrees or something. And you can draw right on there and burn it right into the wood. So you get this really cool effect of it like digging into it and kind of looking like you could see the texture on the surface of the wood rather than just like, you know, pencil on paper.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah, this is what actually got me into Thrasher magazine. My wife got one of these to make Christmas gifts in 2019. And she's like, I think you're going to like it. I was like, I don't even know what wood burning is. She's like, no, I think you're going to like it with all the art stuff. And so obviously I'm that guy that goes to like the color me mine place and like just to make some plate and then end up closing the place down because I can't quite just like have it be okay. I have to keep nerding out on this thing. And so we got the wood burning kit to make Christmas gifts. And next thing I know, I'm just like, wait a second, this could be really fun. And then started like really getting into doing a bunch of art. And like I said, did some skateboard stuff and got featured in Thrasher. And then I'm still trying to get Topps to let me put those in like Masterworks, like actually the wood burn cards, like in there
Yeah,
as one of one.
I was gonna ask if you approached them for that.
Oh, I've sent it in like 3 times already. And like the people that I communicate with, obviously they're not like they're kind of just sketch card specific. And they're always like, oh, we love these. We hope so. We'll pass it on. And then that's as far as it's gone so far. But they just let me with these graffiti cards too. Cause I've sent these graffiti cards in too, to be like, hey, let me do this as an insert. You know, this would be dope. Oh, that Thrawn is rad.
Yeah, I'm trying to see
They,
who I put Thrawn with. Might have to look a little deeper there.
that's a great one too.
It is Lars Mikkelsen.
Yep.
And it's numbered to 25.
Whoa, banger.
It's a really nice hit. I know, I saw it.
Yeah,
There it is.
congrats.
Because I put it in the wrong order. And that goes to Nathan, who is in the break, and he won the Darth Vader earlier, too.
Yeah, dude, look at that. You got 2. They don't like
Yeah.
each other, those 2. Thrawn and Vader.
Oh, that's cool. Got a Kylo Ren, number 94 of 99.
Oh, that's so dope on that red like that.
Mm-hmm. That's perfect.
That's what I love about like the kind of color match idea of the reds to 5 with like a Vader or Kylo or something. Or like even to 99, the green ones to Yoda or somebody Luke looks dope.
There's a Naboo Starfighter. Now, one thing I will say, because you said like you can tell a handful of who the artists are on some of the sketches. What I really appreciated was you not only do your signature, but then you also put your name there.
You know what, dude? I was one of the first people to do that because, again, as as you can tell, like I kind of I like the community. I'm a card collector. My son and I are into it too. So like I want to like people to know I'm not too, even if you think I did it on the toilet, I'm fine with it. Like hit me up on Instagram and I hope you liked it, and like I'm not delusional to think that like I can compete with Van Gogh or something. But I get to draw Star Wars scenes and baseball and like stuff I really genuinely love, and I get to contribute to it. So I was like pretty adamant that I'm putting my name on there so someone could find me, and then I could find out if my cards came out.
Yeah, I mean
And it
that's what led to this. So like, I really like it. Like I
for sure, and like it's a bunch more people do it now too. And apparently, I was like one of the first people to have like wrote my name next to it even. And then on certain sets, they actually even made a line for like this finest set. They made a line for us to do it. They even like were like artist name and then signature. And that was after about, 10 sets that I worked on. But then they took it away again. So I don't know why.
I
But
had started working for Steel City in 2018, and they had not had anybody do any Star Wars breaks until that point. So I
right.
started creating them because my wife had me watch the movies, and I was like, let's do some Star Wars. So I created
Yeah.
different kinds of breaks of Star Wars, like with the letters and things like that nobody else was
Yep.
doing at the time. And I
Right.
would pull out of Masterwork so many sketches where the people would just put a scribble, and then like
Oh, it's total scribble.
it would be me and everybody in the chat, looking through the checklist trying to see which name we might be able to decipher out of it. It's like
100%. And it'll be like some like kind of obscure stormtrooper or something too. And like
yeah.
some people will think that that's like, a Rogue One stormtrooper or a, Clone Wars or whatever. And then you kind of get a disagreement as to whose card it is. And so funny enough, I've definitely had a couple different stormtroopers or clone troopers that I've had people like reach out to me because it got pulled in a break and they're like, hey, we need to know who this is.
I did that with a WWE break. I couldn't find out who the artist was, but I know somebody that like has a real good in with Tops and
Yep.
WWE. And I
Yep.
reached out to him and I was like, "Can you tell me who this is?" And he sent me to one of the sketch artists, and that guy was able to tell me like
Yep.
immediately who it was.
Yep.
That was
Totally.
really good. We do have a sketch card here, Ian.
No way. Come on. Flip it around first. I can tell you already it's probably not mine. Dang it. And I
It is
can't
not
see.
yours.
There's another one. I don't even know who that is, unfortunately. Maybe Marcia Dye. If that's her, she's dope. But I think her signature is different than that, maybe.
Yeah, looks like it might be M Dar.
Yeah.
Not
Mdar.
sure, but
You good?
oh, that's
Good.
nice.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I'll tell you what, that's the thing too that's got me like I just want it to be something that someone spends some time trying to make it look dope because, and again, art, subjective, different talents, different abilities, different styles. I don't think that necessarily has to be like essentially graded good or bad. I just, it's tough sometimes for me to see something that literally looks like somebody spent, 15, 20 seconds on, like just literally sketching something. Whereas I'm just putting some hours in on a lot of mine, and I know some other artists that are too, and we're kind of all getting paid the same amount. It's all good, but I think for me, I just want to see people do it.
Yeah, that. I hope you guys are paying attention to the artwork there too, because that looks really cool how that's turning out.
It's coming along for sure. It'll be a long ways before like the details at the end are the thing, just like any art piece I've ever done. Like, and I'm not looking at the picture of it right now, unfortunately. So, if I was really trying to dial this in, I'd be having the Cal picture up right here too. But I'm just trying to kind of do something so you could actually see the wood burning. And like, for example, like this is a different tip. It's kind of like a palette knife tip. And this one's cool because it really does just like fill in the space quickly. And again, if you turn the temperature down, that's when you could do these kind of like softer fades for some of the shadows.
City is here 30 of 50. Ian, I think your microphone's cutting in and out.
Oh, is it? You know what? I think there's someone trying to call me. Hey, Lennon, call mom. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I think my wife was trying to check in. I used to DJ weddings. This is a funny one. I used to DJ weddings a bunch. And I was DJing a wedding one time, and the song that this couple wanted was super obscure, so I had to play it from a YouTube video. Funny enough. And my wife started power calling me while they were in their first dance, and I should have put it in airplane mode or something, but I had to play this like YouTube from YouTube, so I couldn't even save it. So literally, thankfully though, it was like 2 minutes into their first dance already, so they thought it was just that I was like fading the song out and they were done dancing. So they were like, "Oh, okay, perfect, thanks, that was great." And I was like, "Oh my god, that was unbelievably bad."
All right, guys, we have one more trivia question. That was the last
Yes.
box. And I saved this one for last because to me, I thought this one was my favorite.
Yes.
So Ian definitely knows the answer to this because it's the only one left.
He does. He does.
I think it's a pretty easy question too. So let's use the first here to get it. This character was purchased from Gardella the Hutt by Watto.
Boom. Sebulba. Not Sebulba. I like that question though, because there's a lot of different ways you can go with this one, and that's a good one.
We've got it. DGA. You're gonna have to tell me what your name is so that I can answer that, or so I can send it to the right person here. But DGA hits that one. Justin, nice. You have the right answer too, but you're a little bit behind. He said Anakin's mom. That fits.
Yeah, kind of.
But our woodwork here, Anakin Skywalker. That one is awesome. He's doing the force choke there.
Force choke. And this guy, all the backgrounds I do with airbrush too. So that's kind of it. That's got this like kind of textury, glittery looking airbrush. So when you see it in person, I'm sure Steve, you can see it. It just looks cooler than regular like flat red.
Yeah, I mean it's. I am very impressed by it.
So. Thanks, dude. They're super fun to make too. These things for sure.
Yeah, whenever you sent that package and I opened it up, I was like, "Oh wow, that is like I." You had told me you was going to send some stuff for prizes in the break, and I saw that. I was like, "Wow, that is incredible with the detail that you do in that."
Thanks, dude. Again, they're so fun to do, and it's nice because they can kind of come to life pretty quick, so they're good for like live shows like this because you can really, see some of the action come together. Again, I wish I was looking at this picture because there's some more shading stuff I'd want to do in here, but I don't want to blow it. That's the only other thing about wood burning too. If you blow it, it's kind of hard. You can't really erase it.
Yeah, I mean that was a lot of fun. I wish we could have pulled more sketches. Normally in hyperspace we were pulling like a sketch about every other box there, and here we did 6 boxes and only had one.
I know, a little bit of a bummer for sure. It's still like it's still out there to happen someday when I'm actually in other than the toilet sketch. That's one of the only times I've actually like been in the room like before one of my cards got pulled. There a lot of times now on Whatnot and Fanatics, you can't really tag a person, but people can hit up my Instagram. So like a lot of times they'll like find the sketch card, right? And they'll just do the name first. And if they pull my name, a bunch of people start tagging me. And that's when I'll know like, oh, one of my cards has come out, I think. And so I'll jump into the room. And then sometimes they'll show like a corner of it or something. And they're like, do you remember which one this is? And then it's kind of fun for me to, and then I like to jump in there and be like, kind of explain like what materials I used on a particular one and like the idea with the borders or whatever I'm trying to kind of come up with, just to give the person that got it a little bit more uniqueness to the one of one card that they have.
We have a question here. Do you sell art anywhere?
Yeah, but Instagram is probably the best. I don't have like a website or a Etsy or anything. I go on Whatnot like once a week, and I try to do some live art and again a lot of the graffiti stuff, like working on some cards back here. This is like the beginning stage, and then I'll airbrush into the lettering. Like here's so yeah, but I would say definitely Instagram is great, and then on Whatnot is kind of those are like the best spots for me for
Yeah, those
taking
look
commissions.
great.
People say, thanks, dude. There's again so fun. These are just like I said, a lot of the cards that I do for just to get some more of these back out there. I'll do breaks sometimes, like with baseball releasing, and I have sketch cards in there. I bought like 6 boxes, so I'll do 3 2-box breaks where I put like, for example, I mean, this is kind of awkward because he's not there anymore, but I would put like this Otani card, and you get all the Angels, you know, or Julian, and you'd get like all Argentina or something, or you get all the Mariners with this Ken Griffey Jr. card,
Yeah,
So I
that's
do occasional
awesome.
like some breaks like that or something like that. But yeah, people have like, let's say they're doing a rainbow of that specific card or something, so they'll have me make a one of one to go with the rest of the rainbow or something like that. So yeah, people send me ideas and stuff on Instagram all the time. I guess if I could, I don't think I can chat into the chat, but if you could put my Instagram in there, it's just at Ian McKesson, just my name, all one word. I think it's all lowercase even.
Yep. I just put that in the chat for you. And you
Thanks, dude.
said you have your whatnot as well.
Yep,
You have
exactly the same way at Ian McKesson. Yep. I really appreciate you having me on here, Steve. It's really cool to connect with all the different people. That's been my absolute favorite part about being able to contribute. I've had a couple of moments where like a guy from Germany had got one of my cards, showed up at the West Coast Card Show, which is the first card show I ever did, and was just like, he had no idea I was going to be there. I had no idea that this Ronaldo had even come out, and it was just like such a like goosebump moment when we both realized that like that's a piece of art that I did that somebody else got in a break in Germany, and he bought it off the guy and just had brought it to get graded over. So just cool moments like that I would never be able to contribute if I didn't get to work on these things for Tops.
Yeah, and like I said, I
It's a
love
global set.
the artwork there. Like, and like you said, like some of them we can tell that they don't put a whole lot of time into it.
Yeah, and again,
But
sometimes like some people's like line work is so dope that it's not even necessarily that it just like for me it just ideally you really try to make it something that someone will be excited to get. Obviously, like there's subjective and there's levels of
oh,
ability and
absolutely.
stuff, but you just hope that someone's really trying to like not just trying to cash in on doing a quick sketchy thing and not make it something that they would consider a valuable something that someone you'd be excited about, I guess, if you
Yeah,
can do that and you don't try to do it. That'd be kind of a bummer. But there's definitely some levels within there, just like there is with like any like pulling an autograph. Sometimes you get Anakin Skywalker, sometimes you get the bartender,
yep,
you
absolutely.
know,
Now,
or like the drummer or something.
that's me. Every time I buy a box of Star Wars, because my like
Yep.
I said, my wife's a huge fan. Every time I get the puppeteer of BB-8.
Yes.
I have probably
Yep.
8 of his autographs
That's
because it's
incredible.
every single time.
The drummer ended up like in Masterworks last year became like so. Yep, here it is. So I ended up hijacking one because it became so funny that this card kept coming out, and it was just like this guy was maybe in the background of one scene. They locked him in a room to write like 5,000 times just so that they had another autograph. But like it started to become like a cool card to get because you're in the drum line if you got the drummer, and then I obviously like hijacked one into like a piece of art because it became like it was almost like you didn't want it so much that now you kind of wanted it.
That's you said about baseball. I always say that somewhere there's a Tops factory that just has Dale
So,
Murphy scribbled on the walls like over itself everywhere because he signs
100.
so much.
Oh my gosh, exactly. There are definitely some people too that you could tell just like some characters from Star Wars that are just like, dude, that person was in one scene and has never been let out of the signing room since. They've
But you know,
definitely signed more autographs than minutes they had on
because
even like
Star Wars
second.
is so huge, he probably gets recognized as that drummer more so than anything else in his
Oh,
career.
I don't even doubt it. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, look, dude, I would fight somebody to be a drummer in a scene of Star Wars just to like, and I'd be signing 1,000 autographs too. I'd be like, check me out, dude. I was a drummer in that one scene right there.
Absolutely. But I
Well,
had a
thank you, Steve.
friend.
I had a great time. I really enjoyed this. I wish I could have read the chat a little bit more. Sorry if I missed any questions or anything. But this was a great time for me. Thank you very much. I should.
There weren't a lot of questions. There was a lot of people just repeating the sentiment there that your artwork is really impressive. We appreciate
Thanks.
you showing us that with the wood burning. That was
Yeah.
awesome to actually see it happen.
Thanks.
Sending the sketches here that and the artwork that we were able
Yeah.
to give out here to Mike hit 3 of the 7. Tim
I
hit
know. It's
2.
awesome.
Nathan hit 1. Derek hit 1. So
Nice.
that's awesome too.
Spread out pretty good. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it adds to the break there. And I know we had talked. You said, and we'll talk more later. But you said you have a couple of baseball products
Yep.
that you have sketches
Baseball's
coming in.
coming out next week. Marvel Chrome is coming out sometime soon. I know that's on some pre-order stuff right now, and I did some cards for that.
Okay.
A couple Disney sets, SpongeBob SquarePants set I did some art for. So there's some stuff out there that's been announced that I can speak to, but then there's definitely some stuff that hasn't been announced that we did some art on. So that one we can't. But yeah, again, I would love to come back. This is fun for me. Again, I throw some baseball cards for a baseball. It's fun to like I said, connect to the community. I'm going to the National for the first time, so getting to meet more of the people. Like I said, my son and I are pretty nerdy collectors for soccer and Star Wars, so I know the feeling of getting something one of a kind is it's pretty dope. So
Well,
I
like I
like to do.
said, we really appreciate this, and yeah, I think I speak for everybody here. There's in the chat right now. Please come back. Maybe we can hook up something on baseball. Maybe something for the Marvel. We'll figure something out
I mean,
there.
there's a lot of Star Wars stuff that we've done. I don't know when anything's been announced or released yet, but there's definitely some more Star Wars stuff that we've done, which is always fun. So
Yeah,
I'm down.
Yeah, and I don't think we've done a Marvel character break before. This was the first
They
Star
seem to
Wars
do good.
character break.
I jumped in some whatnot breaks for other people, and they seem like, I don't know how people set up their break spots or whatever, but yeah, they seem to do pretty good.
Yeah, so that,
Be fun to do.
yeah, that's like a task for me to dive into as well. That I'm
It's
kind of excited
interesting.
about
I think,
figuring
like,
out how to
I
price
only have,
everything
like,
on that. So
three, I think that made it into that Marvel set. They're much trickier for sketch cards for Marvel, which is good because they're kind of higher quality that make it through. Only the best kind of do. But a bunch of my Spider-Mans made it in on this one particularly.
okay.
So that's the spot that I want.
We'll have to see if we can figure something out on that one for you.
Nail that, yeah,
Maybe
for
get that working. But yeah, thanks
Nice
again.
Yeah,
Put
thank
your
you, Steve, for having
Instagram and
me.
your whatnot
Great
in
to
there.
meet you.
You too.
Shoot me if you can. Shoot me on Instagram or whatever on whatnot too, because I definitely try to do some art on there. And if there's any cards or any particular characters you don't want me to do, if you shoot me a message, I try to get them done for you. So
Awesome. So
thanks again, Steve. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Let's connect soon, and then good luck for the rest of the breaks.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, you too, Steve.
All right, guys, that is going to do it for the Star Wars break there. I can turn that off. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Guys, if you're not in the break, please send me an email. Tim, you're in the break. Nathan, you're in the break. Mike, you're not, but I have your information. Derek, you might be the only one that I don't have the information for. So if you go ahead and send that out to me, I'll get that card sent out to you. You won the big one. That's the one that I really, really liked, was the Anakin. That was my favorite one. And I'll show these all again. These are the original art cards, the Greedo and the Anakin with the wood burning. Like you said, I mean, they look awesome. They looked awesome in pictures. But then whenever I got those in the mail, I was like, man, that is just incredible. And I'm somebody that, like, I don't have artistic ability at all. So I'm really impressed whenever people do like really nice things, and that's definitely one of them. I'm missing one here that I must have put in the stack of hits. It's the Vader. I put it in the stack of hits, so I don't have that one right here. It's over here. But yeah, thanks again, everybody, for joining that break. I know we have a lot to get to. I really want to take my time with that. That was cool. Ian was great. Yeah, we'll definitely be having Ian back. I'm kind of intrigued about that Marvel idea, so definitely look for that. Maybe we'll be doing some Marvel, maybe some baseball. You have his Instagram and his whatnot handles there. He said he's available for commissions on characters. Yeah, that's. I mean, you've seen his artwork; it's great. So definitely check that out.